Good evening to you, one and all. Shadow Temple of the Zeldathon and Half Crew teams back here with more Citizen Sleeper 2. Hope you have yourselves a wonderful weekend if you didn't tune into yesterday's stream. Hi. I'm back. I'm back from vacation and out in the midst of Wisconsin, up in the hills and there are no mountains in Wisconsin, up in the hills of Wisconsin in order to get myself a nice little bit of a ski trip while the snow still exists. But now I'm here. And I'm ready to do some streaming with all of you. Back into one of my favorite games of 2025. It's a little unfair to the rest of video games because, well, there hasn't been a lot of time for video games to come out in 2025. But this one certainly takes the cake so far. And I'm excited to continue playing with you. So that's what we're going to do here tonight. Before we continue, Dry Ruins, thank you very much for the tier 2. 4 months, my goodness. Get those number thoughts and dances, please, in chat. Thank you. I don't know. I feel like my so far the words that I've said have been out of order and just generally strange. I opened a beer. I have not touched the beer yet. That can't be affecting me here. So what can it be? What is causing this? I don't understand this. Maybe I smelled the beer and it was like, oh. Shut off brain. Maybe that's just going on. Citizen Sleeper 2, friends, is a game that I've been, this is probably what, our 4 streams, I think, of this video game? Fourth stream? It is a wonderful time. I've actually enjoyed it quite a bit. Marissa thinks it's very stressful and not something she'd want to play. I enjoy the stress. Mainly because it's a stress that's contained within inside of a video game and then I can leave it. And my sense of self-worth is not yet connected to me succeeding or failing in this game like playing Overwatch would, by comparison. That's the kind of stress in a game that I don't like. When it's a solo player game and I'm doing my best out there despite the circumstances, it feels like I'm overcoming, overcoming issues and odds and doing the best I can. When I play a competitive game and I lose or I'm having a hard time, it's because I'm bad and I should lose. Dang it. But yeah. That's not this video game. It challenges you to do hard things, and it rewards you for being persistent. And I like that a lot. So a little bit of background while I wait for this video game to get started here, friends. Citizen Sleeper, the series, is about a space age. I eat 5 dozen eggs, so I'm roughly the size of... Fruit never expires. Nice. Citizen Sleeper, the world, is about a space world in the midst of a war. Different massive corporations spanning galaxies are committing violence upon each other, and as a result, taking down humanity as collateral. We are in the midst of it as a sleeper. A sleeper being not quite human, but not quite robot either. It is a robot body, to be clear. But in lieu of some sort of artificial intelligence, though it might be considered that, it is instead a robot operated by the brain scan of a normal human being, as far as we're aware. We actually don't know where these brain scans come from. The company who makes these sleepers, SNARP, it sounds like they trade brain scans in exchange for debts paid or debts recovered or services rendered. And it seems in exchange for your debts being paid and maybe sent to somewhere, your brain is instead, not your brain, but the scan of it, the copy of it, the intellectual rights to your intellect are instead implanted into a robot, a sleeper, who is then used for harsh, excruciatingly painful slave labor, more or less. A form of labor so harsh and so violent and so deadly that sleepers on the regular attempt to escape the clutches of SNARP. Some where many fail and die along the way or are returned back to SNARP, arguably to a fate worse than death. Those who manage to escape find themselves in a tough world where everyone knows exactly where a sleeper came from, and no one seems to want to give them much of a chance. There are some, and we've met some of them along the way. We are a sleeper in this game, friends. We were a sleeper in Citizen Sleeper 1, and now we are a different sleeper here in Citizen Sleeper 2. In this case, we have made friends with a handful of various space folk as we've been wandering the systems, trying to escape the clutches of a gang leader who is going to use our body for nefarious purposes. We don't know what those purposes are yet, but we do know that he has a method of tracking us across space and is looking to collect us and kill all our friends. And so we are constantly on the run to try and remove all the stuff that's inside our body that was implanted by the gang leader, so that he can't track us anymore and control us and do things like that. We found out last time that there's a lot of stuff in our body that shouldn't be there. 2, find enough material and resources and fuel and supplies to ensure that we can continue to survive as a crew. We've got ourselves a little ship that flies from place to place, and we want to make sure that everyone is well sustained and is living their best life out here in space. It's hard work, literally hard work. A lot of these people are putting a lot of labor in to make this happen. And number 3, try to figure out why an entire space station exploded the instant we left it, killing untold thousands of people. We don't know why it happened, but we do want to know why. So tonight we have a couple of missions under our belt. We're going to try to get that gunk out of our bodies. We found a doctor, kind of a ripper doc if you're a cyberpunk fan, who is willing to operate on us and try to get rid of all the gunk that in our body that we're not supposed to have. But in order to do that, he needs to move our brain out of our body for a little bit so he can kind of root around and mess with critical systems without killing us. So we got to find a large enough storage space that we could put our entire intelligence into it. The only thing that comes to mind is something called a ship mind, which is what is used to operate a lot of ships out there and needs an entire artificial intelligence to do it. We also are going to just travel around more, so let's get into it. I'm not going to waste any more time. I'm just going to want to get into this and then we can explain things as they go along. Here we are. So we are in, where was the name of this place? This was, Zoop. Not going to tell me? They're not going to let me look at what's going on here? Get the gunk out of your body as a wellness influencer, which they try to sell us some tea. And if you want to get a gunk out of your body, consider going to cupoftea.com. And if you use the promo code Shadow Temple at checkout, you can get 15% off your order and help support the stream. Get the gunk out of your system. Use code Shadow Temple. They're much Dark Rain, by the way, for the 73 months. You see 65, and that's fine, but I see 73 because I don't discount the months that maybe you missed here and there. I add them all up because that's the number that's most important to me. But also thank you for the 65 months in a row. And thank you for the tier 3 sub, no less. That's very kind. I very much appreciate that. Thank you so much. Anyway, we're in this we're in this spot. I don't remember what the name of this place is, but that's okay. Flotsam. Flotsam is the little station we're presently on. Flotsam is named as such because it is just a bunch of old derelict ships fashioned together to form a larger station. And that's where we're hanging out presently. And I need to buy some fuel. Yes. No, I don't really need fuel. What I really need are supplies. I suppose I could probably buy them from here, yeah? Buy supplies. Yeah. So I'm going to go buy some supplies from this here system. There we go. All cleaned up. And then I'm probably going to burn my dice on working at the hydroponic farm, and then I'm going to go because we got stuff to do outside of here, and there's not really anything else for us to do here. So I don't want to spend any more time here if I don't have anything to do here. A little bit of background about the mechanics of the game here, friends. At the beginning of each day, or cycle, because we're in space, and so day is insufficient, just a cycle. We had 5 dice rolled at the very top of our screen here. Each of those dice serve a purpose. They serve a goal. They serve a function. And our objective is to use those dice towards different actions that we can do in the game. Just like a Dungeons and Dragons, when you want to do something that doesn't have like a definite success rate. Like, I walk 10 feet forward. Yeah, you can do that. But if I want to tell the king he's a poo-poo head, and for him to believe me, you got to roll some dice to determine whether or not you're charismatic enough for that, right? In this game, you get 6-sided dice, D6. And the higher the number, the better it is. So these ones are dead and useless to me. But the 5s can do a lot for me. So I could go and work at this the hydroponic farm and make some money. If I want to do that, all I got to do is grab a die, throw it in the old machine, and you can see here, because I have such a high number, I either have a 50% chance of a positive outcome or a 50% chance of a neutral outcome. No negative. It's either I succeed okay or I succeed very good. And there you go. I got a positive outcome, and as a result, I earned 8 cryo, which is the money in this world. And I earned a little extra energy, which was also nice. I just got to eat a little bit, it seems. I'm going to go ahead and try a different one. I'm going to do some flotsam maintenance for them and see how this goes. There we go. Oh, I got a piece of raw scrap for my trouble. Thank you for that. So because I got a positive outcome, not only did I get more cryo, I also got a piece of scrap, which I can use as another form of currency or use to fix things, which, you know, as you might imagine, could come in handy. I have this 4 here that's not as good, but it's still good enough to worth giving a try. 25% chance of positive, 50% chance of neutral, and then a 25% chance of negative. Let's see here. I'm risking it all for the biscuit, and I got a positive outcome and more raw scrap. Beautiful. So beautiful. In the meantime, you can see here, this is the clock for the gang leader, Lane, to find me. If this runs out of time and he finds me, I die. Or he pulls me aside and kills all my friends and turns me into some sort of robot. I am a robot, but it's not, you know, the kind of bad robot. We don't want that. So we are going to actually head on out of here and go literally anywhere else. I don't want to be here anymore, and I want to leave. So we're going to do that. I'm going to burn my dice here because, I don't know, it's kind of fun. I got a neutral outcome, and I'm less stressed out. I got a neutral outcome, and I'm less stressed out. I had no levels of stress to begin with, but it felt good. Let's fly out of here and get to somewhere else. Specifically, we want to go. We've already been to Farspindle. Oh boy, that is all my gas, isn't it? That's fine. Let's go to the Hellion Gate. We've already been to the Farspindle before, and I don't think there's really anything else for us to do there. So I think it is time we head to the Hellion Gate. Confirm the vector. Off we go. Hi, Catalyst the Spirit. And Azrael and Dry Ruins and Sierra and Styx and Miss and Sierra and Dark Raiden. Hello, Styx and Darth and MJ Evans and Clockwork Peace and Robin. And I think I'm pretty much caught up. Yeah. And Twister. Hello, everybody. Hello again. Hellion Gate hangs over the rig. Its corroded arches. Did you not hear me clear my throat for the exposition? Thank you very much, Draconic Wolf Ryan, for the 87 months. Get those temple thoughts and dances in chat. That is extraordinary. 87 months. My goodness gracious. Thank you. Actually, one last bit here, friends. We are getting up to the point where we're starting to run out of our Partner Plus time. I don't know where we're at right now, but I think we're kind of floating right around getting back to triple-digit PP points. It's kind of hard to tell right now because it's still like the middle of the month, so they're not going to give us a really accurate number at the moment. But the last 3 months, we've been hitting. In November, we hit 92 PP points, 91 PP points in December, and then 94 PP points in January. Which means if we could bump that back up to a good 100, which is subscribing at tier 1 and staying that way as a recurring subscription. Becoming a tier 2 or tier 3 sub increases the PP points significantly. If you're tier 1, you get 1, or give me 1 point. If you're tier 2, you get 2 points. And if you're tier 3, you get, you guys guessed it, 6 points. Yeah, I don't get it either. But that adds up a lot. And then as a result, amongst other things, you give me more of your money and you give less Twitch your money. So it's just pretty good. Pretty good. Need 6 new tier 1 subs, direct recurring or not, and not gifts. Yes. Or for a tier 1 to upgrade to a tier 3 and a tier 1 to upgrade to a tier 2, or an upgrade to a tier 3 and 1 new tier 1, or just there are a lot of different possibilities here, is I guess what I'm saying. Anyway. Hellion Gate hangs over the rig. Its corroded arches resemble the dislocated vertebrae of some vast, long-dead serpent. That's one big, ugly scrap pile. Seraphin whistles from the pilot's seat. Solheim didn't like to build them small. A monument to hubris. Seraphin shoots you a sideways glance. Feeling poetic, Sleeper?
Gotta be big if you want to fit every ship that visits the system through it.
Bliss cuts in for the back of the cockpit.
Impressive, really, building something so massive out here.
Solheim like to impress visitors, sure. Seraphin leans forward, looking for the best place to enter the structure. But they also like to scan entire ships and impound those that didn't enter through the gate. Seraphin catches your eye, looking for some agreement. Not the most admirable qualities. A curse on the system! Seraphin nods. Better off without him, that's for sure.
I agree, but without them, the system would just be 2 gas giants and a load of rocks. No harm in recognizing it.
You look out the cockpit towards the gate, its layers of systems and rooms slowly opening to the void, peeling away cycle after cycle to reveal the bones beneath. This is where Jean-Mi mentioned you might be able to find the location of a ship with a prime ship mind among the old shipping manifests in Solheim records. You look over the towering structure of the gate. This is going to take some work. Suddenly, a flash high up on the gate catches your eye, a light turning on and off again for a moment. You lose track of it. Is this place inhabited? Seraphin raises an eyebrow. I doubt it. He winks and smiles. Hoping for a station-side bar?
I have a feeling you'll be disappointed, unless we find an executive's old liquor cabinet.
Bliss pats you on the shoulder and drifts out the cockpit. Time to see what secrets the gate has left. Interesting. So this actually is seen. This is a derelict station. There's apparently no signs of life on here. At least they don't expect anybody to be here. But there's definitely going to be people here because I'm going to be attacked by them or something. I don't know how this works. Okay, we could power up the archive, or we could extract records there. Let's take a look elsewhere. Explore the corridors and scan the hull. Okay. I understand what I can do here. All right, I'm going to plug a point into powering up the archive. Let's find what's going on. +3 to the clock. So how this works for a lot of like story progression things, friends, is we need to dump dice into various tasks that add points to a clock like this. If we get the whole thing filled up to the tippy top, we succeed at something. In this case, we're trying to learn where ship mind might be on this here station. And we can either extract records or try to power up the archive to get it. Each of these carries its own, strength and weakness, Over here, this is a risky bet, which means that if we fail, it's not going to be terrible, but it's not going to be great either. Something bad's going to happen to us. If we fail on a danger, then something bad happens. Whatever it is, it's not fun. We don't want it. What I'm going to do, since I have 2 6s here, and these are pretty powerful, I'm going to use them over here. And I'll explain here in a second why. Within the gate. New location discovered. I'm just going to finish this off. We're just going to get 2 guaranteed crits and knock this out. More thoroughly deserted. There you go. After spending some time here, you are convinced you are not alone here. But how to find the gate's residence? Aha! We found a whole bunch of new places now, didn't we? I used those 2 6s there because that was a dangerous thing. But danger, the trick here too, friends, is that if you do a dangerous thing, it also gives you a better chance at you, like the successes are stronger. You know, high risk, high reward. The reason why I put the 6s over there and instead of working on the thing like I was starting over here is that this is an engineering type skill check. And I, presently, am a bit of an engineer. I actually gain a +1 point anytime I'm doing some engineering. And so I'm going to wait until I have slightly worse dice to try to open that thing up. Let's see here. We found a derelict part of the ship. A mess of confiscated cargo stretches off into the darkness. The sight instills some fear, but perhaps there's still something here yet to be picked clean. Interesting. And then we also have the ability to just scrape away at this at the station here, but we are putting ourselves in severe danger if we do. So careful now. Wow, we can really scavenge a lot of stuff off of this if we need to. That's very interesting to me. All these options here so far have been just kind of scavenge stuff off of this. But I think we are done for now. I don't want to. I'm gonna have my Bliss, one of my crew members, scavenge fuel for me. In the meantime, we are going to end the cycle for today. Nothing else to be done. I don't want to use my ones. Very much Vera Volpine for the 92 months, by the way, as people did already, but just in case anyways, double thoughts and dances in chat, please and thank you. You like how today's After episode is based off of Silent Hill and My Street Season 4? I'd be very curious to see how that video does. I haven't had a chance to look yet. It is probably the freakiest and unfunniest video that we've put out in a very, very, very long time on the AFMOUT channel. And I'm very, very curious as to how that's going to play out because, you know, we do a lot of the haha funnies. And that video was significantly not the haha funnies. True to form, Pierce is not in it. He's the haha funny man, and that was not. But I still helped out with the video here and there, and yeah, I mean the vibes were very cool. I actually implore, I'm being serious about this. If you are not usually an AFMOUT fan, but you do enjoy Silent Hill. You should check it out because I think we actually really kind of nailed it, guys. It's creepy in a really cool way, and I do recommend. I just recognized by coming over here and assuming that I could purchase fuel, I'm stuck here until I get more fuel. That is something that has now dawned on me, and I want to make sure I keep an eye on that. That I need to go scavenge for fuel because I presently have no fuel. That is very important. Okay. Good to recall. So this is what I wanted to do here, by the way. My 5s now turn into 6s because I'm an engineer and I know what I'm doing. There you go. The archive is coming online. You watch as terminals light up in the dark. Do another one. And do another one. This will go poorly for me, but I'm going to do it anyway. Yeah, saw that one coming. The archive shorts out on powering up, almost frying you. This thing isn't in good shape. It helped me none by trying to use that, and it hurt me more than anything, and I didn't like it. I might have to burn some supplies at some point, friends. Supplies are typically safe for contracts, but when food isn't readily available, you got to use what you got to survive, and I don't have any food here. I have none. None food. Not even a ha or a giggle. None. None of it. Spoiler alert, Peebs is in it, and he has a bad time. I'm just going to say it out loud. He has a bad time. Yeah, I'm just going to have to eat some of my supplies. I mean, the advantage is I got money. If push comes to shove, I got cash. I'll be okay. But it's not how I wanted to spend this. There we go. That was a lot of supply healing, though. That was good. That's great. Shove it down your throat. She was helping. Peeves, not peeves. Sorry, I need to be more enunciating. Peebs. P-E-E-B-S. A relatively new character to the fold. He's a little goober. What can I say? He's a little goober, and we love the little guy. But he's not having a good time in that video. All right, let's finish powering up the archive, see what awaits us. You hear something in the dark. Uh-oh. In the dark and airless void of the archives, something flickers. You've been working in the dark, picking through the guts of corroded machines, skimming the data in their corrupt memories, digging through a graveyard in search of ghosts. But now, with another flicker, the place begins to come back to life. All along the rows of benches, some of them crushed by fallen ceiling panels, terminals begin to flicker into uneasy life. A cacophony of distorted sounds accompany the machines, as some of them immediately glitch and spark. Just me, or does the game sound louder today? Does the game sound louder to you? Because it kind of sounds louder to me today. I want to pump this boy down just a little bit. Maybe it's just the tune that's playing right now, but yeah. I think it's just the track. A little bit, reminds you of Butters. Hey, you said it, not me. Did you do this? You stand frozen as the archive glitters around you with a million shipping entries. The stream of information is overwhelming. Node graphs drawing out at routes and inventories, tracing a web around you in pale cyan. Suddenly, they all shut off, the terminals blinking out together, leaving a single translucent screen glowing softly in the dim room. And in that dim room, drifting towards you out of the dark, you see a figure. Oh, it's crackles, not cackles. I was trying to figure out what they were trying to say, and I thought we had like a Joker-esque figure in the dark going, "Is this what you're looking for?" And I was like, uh-oh. Oh, I don't like that.
Is this what you're looking for?
The voice crackles aggressively through your suit's local comms. Who are you? Oh, it's Junie! Wow! Wow, it's Junie! So a little bit of background. This gal was with us at the very beginning. Not the very, very, very beginning, but the first the first stop that we made. She helped us ruin our first job. Whoops. She was fun. She's trying to gather a bunch of old data and information. And we became friends with her, and she joined us on our adventures. And then as soon as we went somewhere else, she decided to stop being on our adventures. And she went on her own way. But now we found her again.
Sleeper? Is that you?
You hear Junie's voice, now tense and unsure. She stops beside the single online terminal, her suited form lit in pale light. Junie! You hear the smile in her voice.
Good to see you again.
She pauses and glances around.
Though the venue's a little unexpected.
I'm looking for a ship mind. She shrugs.
Well, yes, I can see that. I've been digging through the archives myself, although slightly less forcefully than you.
Hey, Tokyo. Doing good. How you doing? How's the schoolwork and all that?
I did have this whole speech prepared for whatever salvager was ripping through these archives so messily, not to mention aggressively. But now that I know it was you, well, I'm just glad to see you. Although you really need to be more careful. You could have taken the entire archive down the way you were working with it. These machines are decades old. You can't just rifle through them like they were a scrap pile. I saw the pattern of your queries. A prime shipmine-equipped ship, still operational to collapse, last located in the region around Hellion Gate.
You can feel how pleased she is with herself from here.
That about right?
Nicely done. She nods.
Would you expect anything else? That's why I did the hard work for you.
Junie beckons you over to the lone lit-up terminal. You drift over and see a single point, a faded transit trail beside it, sunward from the Hellion Gate.
Something like this, maybe. She smiles and steps aside so you can see the screen. You check the info pane beside the map. Ship mine in use. Abandoned by all hands after the collapse. Tantalizing.
I just realized I was reading that with the filter, sorry. Abandoned by all hands after the collapse, tantalizingly in reach. What can I say?
Try thank you, Junie. But
Junie turns and in the glow of the terminal meets your eye with complete seriousness.
the question is, what do you want it for?
I'll tell her. This is all anti-Vane. I don't like Vane. Vane is the guy who's trying to take our body over. You tell her what Jean-Mi told you about your shifting body transformed by some unknown influence, about the need for a prime ship mind to house your emulated mind while he runs a diagnostic process. She is silent for a moment, unsure how to respond.
I'm sorry, Sleeper, but I think I can help you. I want to come with you.
Junie gives you a strong look.
Do you know how often someone gets out to one of those old Solheim wrecks? They're more trouble than they're worth, but contained inside there's an entire history to uncover.
Okay, that's fine, but I need that ship mind.
And you're welcome to it.
She pauses.
I promise to help you get what you need and not to get in your way. I know I can't force you or trick you into taking me. That's why I wanted to offer you this instead.
She indicates the terminal, still showing the ship's final resting place.
I hoped that maybe if I helped you find what you needed, it would show that I can be trusted.
I trust you, I think. She smiles.
Thank you for saying so. I'll send the coordinates to your ship, and I'll be hanging around the gate until you're ready to leave.
She shifts in front of the terminal and plugs in her deck, tapping away at rapid speed.
If you need to go get supplies from the spindle or anything else, fine.
She folds her arms.
I'll wait. But if you go on this job without me, I'll get the message.
She shrugs.
You won't see me again.
With that, you leave her in the archive, extracting data as you ascend back to Hellion Gate's upper levels. Cool! Great! Fantastic! How much fuel do I need to get over there? I need 4 fuel. I presently have 2. Okay. All right. We can make that work. We got a 6 here. Let's see how much fuel we can get from one positive outcome. +3! that was how much we needed, and we got it, so that's great. That's fantastic. Let's roll again. See if we can get a little extra. Oh, no, not so much that time. Let's give it one more try. Come on, Teddy needs more fuel. Yes! The trick is we needed both more fuel for this little adventure we're about to go on, and also more fuel so we can get back to the spindle or anywhere other than here. And so I got a little nervous about that, but we managed to pull through. And now I'm going to get out of here. We're going to the ship mind wreck. We're going to bring both of you if we can. I think we can. Yeah, there we go. We got Junie and Bliss joining us on this adventure. Travel to the contract. Hey, Alley Cats, how you doing? Schoolwork is easy, but it always depends on which class. Oh, of course. I get you. We're far too sunward, Sleeper. Seraphin turns back in his chair to look at you. I don't like it. It's hard not to agree. The coordinates Junie found have drawn you out of Hellion Gate and almost out of the belt completely into the soft, rubble-strewn transition with the Hellion system to the edge of Conway-controlled space. Conway, friends, we've encountered a couple times. They're using automated droids shot out into space to go murder people. So that's been fun. That's why this ship is likely to be untouched. Junie surveys the wreck coldly. It's far too sunward for belt traffic to run into.
And now, with Conway drones patrolling the edge of the belt, it's even less attractive as a salvage site.
Lucky us. I'm doing well, Alley Cats. Had myself a nice, relatively quiet day. You know, I got my steps in. Those of you who usually ask, I am at 8,511 today. I'm drinking some lovely apple chai tea. No, apple chai. Do not say tea after chai. Bad. Hello, Hecker. How you doing today? I'm the guy who does play Pierce. That is correct. But Pierce is the character. Just to be clear. Just to set expectations. Because, you know, if I was Pierce, I wouldn't be able to read that you wrote things in chat. You know. Tai Chi? What? Hey, Dino, how you doing? Junie eyes you, trying to detect if you're being sarcastic or not.
I doubt anyone has been here in decades, so actually I would say we are lucky.
Any drone signals?
Nothing I can see, but I don't dare reach out too far.
Seraphin flicks a few switches.
We should assume they're out there.
As you look out the twisted wreck, you swear you see a red light blinking between the stars. Oh, you guys can't see it. Hold on, let me see if I can swing the camera. There it is! It's sneaking past! Right there! Right there! Anyway. Sinus infection. No! 11 arrested. There you go. As you look out at the twisted wreck, you swear you see a red light blinking between the stars. You exchange a look with Seraphin. He has seen it too.
We better get to it, Sleeper.
Seraphin begins unclipping from his seat.
Quickly and quietly.
Tell you what, Hecker, I will say that for you, and I'll say it in the Pierce voice, even at that. If just a nice little $5 donation to, I think the charity below the stream right now is the Transgender Law Center, right? A wonderful organization that is working on various precedent-inducing cases that help enshrine and restore the rights of our transgender friends across the U.S. $5, I don't touch a cent of it, goes straight to the charity, and you can get your little voice thing that you want.
From what I understand, Conway drones run on automatic until they detect something of interest.
Junie on clips too.
So, as long as we're quiet, we don't have to contend with an operator, just automated search sweeps. So if we are detected...
I just realized, unfortunately, Bliss and Junie have like the same voice. Bliss is a little less feminine, but still.
So if we are detected, we will be killed by a machine, not a person.
Bliss shakes their head.
I don't find that very reassuring.
They get up out of the corner seat and glide towards the back of the ship to get suited up. You drift out of your chair and head towards the airlock, unable to shake the feeling of being watched. Being here is a risk, you know that, but you need this ship mind. So, no matter what happens, you won't be leaving here empty-handed. You got a question? I might have answered. Let's go, by the way. Look at these rolls, guys. Look at these rolls that we've started off with. Our rolls aren't so good, but the rolls of our friends in the corners there, tasty. A 5 and a 6 from Bliss, and a 6 and a 4 from Junie. I mean, my goodness. Can't ask for much more. All right, let's get in here.
Okay, all right, we're good. This is gonna be great. This is gonna be fantastic.
We need to explore the ship. We're trying to find what's called a ship mind, which is essentially a large computational storage device that can be used to store our brain. That's where we're trying. So I'm gonna give it a big spin here. Explore the ship. Wonderful. Slowly but surely, routes are tracked throughout the ship. It won't be too much longer until the ship mind is located. So once again, we're trying to fill this yellow bar all the way around this here circle. And successes fill it. Failures kill me. No pressure. Let's put in a 5. Yeah, Bliss saying, I hope Seraphin saw that. Again, Bliss said that twice now.
I hope Seraphin saw that.
Well, you got a little crush, Bliss? Or you just want Senpai to notice you? It's probably more just that in general. Or was it probably just more that in general? Hey, Marjorie, how you doing? Meanwhile, Junie can't do that. These little symbols here, by the way, friends, in case you're wondering, regular symbol means whatever number I put in there, it's just going to roll as is. No big deal. No biggie either way. The symbol with the cross crossed out with the 2 minuses next to it means that whatever die I put there for that character would get -2 to their roll, which is really bad. You don't want that. Junie here, though, is very good at interfacing and actually gets +1 to her rolls. So I can put this 4 in here. Bam! It's a 5 now. Oh no. That was a neutral outcome, which means that she's stressed now. There are fragments of a ship's layout in the data extracted, but it's a big ship. So Junie got a little point of stress here. If Junie gets all the way up to 4 stress, Junie don't want to do nothing no more. Interesting. That's interesting, by the way. Each character has their own stress meter. Bliss apparently can take on a lot more stress than Junie can here. Stress keeps us alive. We'll be fine. And there we go. We're already over halfway there at getting this thing moving, which is great. Let's keep cooking. I can help out with 2 with my own dice. And then I'm going to push, which is the thing I have a power that I have here, friends, where if I push +1 stress to myself, my lowest die, which in this case will be a 1, will be converted to a 4. That kind of sucks. You know what? I'm not going to. I've decided on second thought that that's not very great, and I don't feel like it, so I'm not. I got a neutral outcome by doing that. You know what? I will. I'll do it. I'll make myself more stressed out. I'll put that 4 in there. Come on, positive outcome. Let's go. No. And now I'm very stressed out. But I got the thing done. That's the important thing. Junie leads you deep into the wreck through crushed and twisted corridors, floating panels and wires appearing suddenly in your headlamps like strange sculptures. Just as you begin to tire of the endless dark and haze of particles washing over your suit, Junie leads you into a chamber where the ceiling is torn open to reveal the stars. At its center lies a cylindrical object, half your height but raised on a complex pedestal, from which countless thick cables snake off into the dark like braided hair. 1 or 2 of them float freely, waving back and forth with glinting, severed ends, but most of them disappear into the floor and walls, or twist and curve out of sight.
Beautiful, isn't it?
Junie stares into the prime ship mind, the stars reflected in her faceplate. Should have done the radio thing, that's fine. Not bad. Junie glides over to the pedestal, pushing her way delicately through the wires. As she takes out her terminal and looks for an access port, she talks softly, her voice carried through the suit comms.
These cables lead off to every one of the ship's systems. Engines, life support, navigation, lighting, networking, you name it. Shipmind has hardwired access to them all. When an old ship like this was running well, the shipmind would distribute itself, some of its protocols running freely in different sections. It'd be less like a single governing mind, and more like a load of systems clumped together to form a complex living machine. Think of a plant rather than a being. A plant with incredibly rapid processing power and much more accelerated response time than your average tree.
You watch as she finds an access port and slips a cable inside, slotting a translucent screen onto the top edge of her deck.
Let's see here.
Junie's screen fills with bright scrolling data.
Incredible. There's so much here.
She hits a few keys.
I'll start copying this over. It's everything I need.
You watch as Junie starts rapidly tapping at her keyboard, her attention sucked into the data she's extracting. Wait for her to notice. You wait quietly in the ruined chamber, watching the stars through the ripped roof. You can understand Junie's insatiable curiosity. These wrecks are incredible. Junie suddenly snaps out of her trance.
Right. Where were we? The shipmind. Let me check. As I thought.
She sighs.
So like I was saying, the protocols inside this shipmind are distributed. So when the shipmind is shut down unexpectedly, the protocols are rarely all contained in this unit.
She places a hand gently on the cylinder.
As is the case here, parts of it are trapped elsewhere, in the ship system's nodes.
She taps a few keys.
Which is a problem.
Why does it matter?
If we rip this thing out now with parts of its protocols elsewhere, it's probably going to destroy itself the moment we turn it on. It doesn't matter that we're going to wipe the whole thing anyway. It'll be too late. The mine inside the ship mine will be broken. But if you find the nodes housing the distributed parts, power them up, and then disconnect them, the protocols will be sent right back into the ship mine here, and we can take it out clean.
So how do we find the nodes?
We either ask the cradle very nicely, or we spend the next cycles following these cables to see where they lead. I got an incoming signal.
Seraphine's voice suddenly cuts through on comms, urgent and nervous.
If you're lighting up the systems and networks down there, time to stop.
You hear a click as Junie disconnects from the cradle, and the two of you exchange nervous looks, instinctively backing off from the ship mine. Suddenly, a faint red light glitters in the dark beyond the broken ceiling. You hold still. The moment stretches out, and you hear Junie's breathing through the comms. The light flashes, pauses, and then fades. You take a breath. Too close.
Conway drone,
Junie whispers.
sniffing the network. We're clear.
Seraphine chimes in again.
I've turned off almost all the rig systems, but we need to be careful. Keep network activity to a minimum. Understood.
Junie cuts in.
But we will need to access the networks to get this ship mine out quickly.
And I hope you're feeling...
And I hope you're feeling lucky.
There's a click as Seraphine closes the line. You and Junie look at each other again, and then at the ship mine encased in its cradle, wrapped in cables. This isn't going to be easy. Whoa! Boy, we got some work ahead of us, huh? Okay, then. Oh, I'm not looking forward to this, friends. I'm already very stressed out in game. I only got 4 bits of supplies, so I gotta make them count. Okay, I got good rolls. No, I couldn't do anything else with that dice. I keep wanting to go rest on the ship, but we're not allowed to. We're not allowed to rest on the ship. It doesn't work that way. But 2 6s is a big deal. So let's get rolling. There are so many branching connections, but with care and diligence, they are traced. I'm going to do the same thing again. That was a positive outcome. Was just 2? Was just 2? Oh, boy. Oh, dear. I'm going to push it. Push it to the max! Do I like thick of it? I don't know what that is. All right, I'm halfway there. Whoa. Living on some stairs. Oh, no. Oh, no. Bliss can't roll on either of these. Junie can. Junie will go from a 4 to a 5, and that helps, but Bliss is useless here. That 5 will get knocked down to a 3, which maybe we want to do? I don't know. A neutral outcome involves a Conway alert. Oh, boy. Oh dear. Oh, no. Sure, why not? We got blips. Neutral outcome. +2 stress. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. That's cool. That's fine. It stressed out Bliss instead of alerting the Conway drone. That's good. That's fantastic. Okay, then I'm gonna also track cables, I think. Oh, boy. It's a lot of stress that's piling up on me here. I don't like it. I'm gonna start doing some severe damage to myself, but I want to get this done. There we go. That's pretty good. Can you sing a short clip from it? No, thank you. No, thank you. I do not know KSI, sorry. Okay, so we got a port node and a starboard node. That's what we gotta do, it sounds like. Understood. Time to go take a nap. Okay, some good rolls. Some very nice rolls. Beautiful rolls. Powerful rolls. Bliss, would you do the honors of cutting this thing out? Very good, very nice. Junie, do the same, please. Mwah. Got that one done. The song is infamously bad. Cool. Great. Fantastic. All right, here we go. Now we did the port side. Now let's do the starboard side. Not a great roll from Junie there, so I'm just going to take it myself, I think. Disable the node. Thankfully, I had some pretty good rolls here that kept me out of trouble here, so we should be a-okay. Hey, Kata-chan, how you doing?
It's ready, Sleeper.
Junie's voice comes quietly through the comms. You look over to her, floating beside the cradle, uplit by the pale screen of her deck. She gives you a reassuring nod. You turn to the prime ship mind, now floating above its cradle. The final node's disconnected and the lock's released. You glide over and gently grab it, the worn metal casing gleaming in the dim light. As you do, you feel a strange sensation of something moving around inside, like a creature in a box, the weight shifting this way and that under the pressure of your grip. It suddenly dawns on you that Jean-Mi plans to put you inside this strange device, to hold your mind there while he investigates your body. The thought prompts a shiver.
That drone's still sniffing around, Sleeper.
Seraphine's voice crackles on the comms.
So if you have what you need, let's go.
You feel Junie's hand fall on your shoulder.
Come on, Sleeper. Don't overthink it.
She pats you gently.
There'll be plenty of time for that later.
You look up and see a faint red light glittering in the dark beyond the broken ceiling. Time to leave. We got it done, and it's time to get the heck out. Yeah, no, we're leaving. There's nothing else here for us. Time to skedaddle. Skedaddle! Arriving back at the Hellion Gate, as lonely and cold as it is, feels like a relief. There was a tension in the rig as you came back out of the inner system, a watchfulness for errant signals and glinting red beacons that choked the conversation. But now, floating in the comforting shadow of this vast ruin, the sense of relief is palpable. That's one prime ship mine, condition unknown, retrieved. Seraphine runs the engine shutdown protocols as he speaks. I'd mark that as a success. Agreed, thank you. Seraphine waves away her thanks. We're a crew. We work together.
Sleeper, can I speak with you?
Junie asks from the back of the cockpit. Of course. She leads you out into the passage, tucking herself against the wall. She looks small, even in this compact space. I can't remember if I asked this in a previous stream or not, but is this Junie the same girl that we looked after as a sleeper in the first Citizen Sleeper game? I want to say yes. My brain really wants to say yes, but I'm not sure if that's necessarily true. It just feels true. There was a little girl that we took care of on the Eye, whose like adoptive father was like working hard to try to get them off the station and like find them a better life. And I'm curious if maybe that's her. I don't know, but it feels like it.
Thank you for taking me with you. I hope I proved I'm trustworthy.
Thank you for helping. I'm not going to say I never doubted her. Nuh-uh.
That's what I promised.
She looks at the floor.
My time here in the belt, I haven't found it easy to make friends.
She falters, tripping over her words slightly.
But you, Sleeper, well, I'd hope you'd consider me a friend at least.
I would. Yeah, there's my YouTube channel. It's got a lot of Minecraft stuff. If that's what you enjoy, just saying. Would mean a lot to me if you watched it. She can't help but smile.
I'm glad. Then I would like to ask you something.
She pauses.
Would you consider taking me with you on the rig?
She blurts out, and then before you can answer,
I think I would be of help for your diagnostic, and in the meantime, I can take a look at the ship mine, make sure it's ready, and...
Sure. She stops speechless. She looks down at her hands, then back up at you.
Okay.
She smiles.
Thank you,
She looks down again.
I will find a bunk.
and she quickly glides off down the corridor before you can say anything further. Another stray collected. Seraphin puts a hand on your shoulder. Quite the refuge we're building here. She gives you a sly smile. We've talked about this before. Seraphin and Sleeper are like a gay couple where one of the two partners keeps bringing in stray cats, and the other one kind of outwardly tries to pretend that he doesn't like it, but secretly he really appreciates it because it means that their partner's got a really kind heart. They better kiss at the end. It's got that energy. You don't approve? Seraphin shrugs. You know, I've actually started warm to this one. She's all right by me. He smiles and pushes off from your shoulder, gliding towards the engine room. You look towards the bunks, but Junie is already out of sight, likely unpacking already. The ship is getting a little crowded, but you're starting to realize you like it like that. At the very least, she'll prove invaluable when you get to Flotsam and have to deal with Jean-Mi. Perhaps she'll even have a read on the old man. See, I do trust her more than I trust Jean-Mi, and I want to make sure she's there just in case Jean-Mi is going to do something weird. There's no guarantee he's just a kindly old man who just wanted us to do this thing. There's a chance that he was going to mess with us, and I trust her enough that I think she would prevent that from happening. Hey, Patrick Mahomes III, how you doing? You pause for a second, appreciating the warmth, the hum of the rig and its inhabitants. This ship, you think, is starting to feel like home. Yay! Let's get the heck out of here, because this place is dangerous and I don't want to be here anymore. I don't have the fuel to make it back all the way over to Flotsam, but Far Spindle's just in between, so we could just burn all our fuel this way. It's worth it. And I can buy fuel at the Spindle. That's the important thing. Couldn't buy fuel back at that place, but I could buy fuel here, no problem. Do a little bit of work while I'm in town. Get a little extra going. You know how it goes. Yeah, we'll buy some fuel. We'll resupply as well while we're at it. Just because it's the sort of thing where I don't necessarily know what's going to happen next. So I might as well just be ready to go no matter what it is, you know what I mean? Not worth getting myself into too much trouble here. Maybe I should sell some of the scrap. We've got a lot of scrap. The scrappers will process your scrap in bulk, pay you for the offcuts, and return you the processed plates. Not a bad deal. Sure, let's give it a try. I haven't tried this yet. I got 1 processed scrap and 7 cryo from the gig. Pretty good, pretty good. Pretty good, pretty good. Ready for the exchange? Yeah, let's burn it. Let's do it. And my YouTube video at the same time. Wow. Wow. Roblox drama? I mean, other than the fact that it's a platform and website designed to harness underage labor and not pay them nearly enough money for the labor that they do in exchange to build a place that is predatory towards those same underage players? Or is there some more specific drama you're speaking of? Let's see here. Yeah, I got more raw scrap. Let's keep it cooking. There we go. We're making a little bit of cash. We're making it work. We're making it work. Sorry, I have misgivings about all that, if it wasn't clear. Roblox is fun and fine and all that, and it's nice that, you know, I know it's popular because it's free and kids get to play it, but it is not great. It's not great. Neutral outcome, but lost some energy. That's fine. I made some more money, and I'm feeling better for it. Let's keep moving. I don't have time to waste. Let's just get flying across town, and let's see where we're up to next. I want to fix my body, so I'm gonna go fix my body. All right, here we go. So once again, a little bit of background. The whole point of this game right now is we are trying to escape some jerk who put something bad in our body that is changing our body and probably starting to possess us. Because we keep hearing our former boss's voice in our brain, and occasionally he can control our limbs, and we really don't like that. And we found a guy on this station who might be able to cut those parts out of us without killing us. But he needed some way to kind of put our brain into something else, put a brain in a jar. And we found, friends, a very rare jar, is all I'm going to say about that. Kind of a warlock patron. Yeah, but we didn't ask for this patron. We did not sign up for any gig, and we want him out. Jean-Mi warmly smiles at the shipmind as you place it on his counter.
A beautiful sign, Sleeper. Come, let's get you inside.
Jean-Mi swings open the creaking, corroded door beside his booth.
Such a prize must have levied a heavy cost.
Technically, the original us did sign up for this. That's true. You glance beside you to Junie, who insisted she came along, and on not letting the prime shipmind out of her sight. That jerk is past me that ate chips at late at night.
Your friend too, yes, please, come in.
Jean-Mi beckons and then turns back and disappears inside. Junie squints at you.
Are you sure you trust this one?
I don't have a choice. She sighs.
Suppose not. Lead on then.
You both squeeze through the door and drift down into the workshop. You're aware of Junie's eyes wandering across piles and piles of tech on either side, and you wonder if she recognizes anything among the junk.
Sit, Sleeper.
Jean-Mi is already at the chair arranging his array of articulated arms.
And I'll take that shipmind, if you please.
I mean, we got it for him. I'm not going to hesitate, because what else am I going to do with it, you know? You hold the shipmind in front of you and give it a small push so it floats gently over to Jean-Mi. He grasps it with both hands and takes it to a neat little work table in the back you didn't see before, where thick cables float lazily, tethered to the wall. You slide into the chair, hooking your feet behind the bottom bar to hold yourself in place, and watch as Jean-Mi begins connecting up the prime shipmind. A tremble of nervousness runs along your arms. Suddenly you feel Junie's hand clasped around your own. You look over into her face.
Is this okay? I want you to know that I'm here.
Thanks.
I like that you holding my hand. That's actually very nice and kind. You didn't have to do that. It doesn't feel like you have nefarious intentions if you just hold my hand like that. That's very nice.
She nods silently.
Jean-Mi,
Junie calls across the room.
you're going to need to talk us through what you're about to do.
Of course.
Jean-Mi is slotting an arm-thick cable into the shipmind.
A little patience, please. All of this is very technical.
He turns to face you both.
What is your friend's name, Sleeper?
Junie,
Junie answers for you.
and I can tell you that you're using a Solheim-built data cradle modified to handle as your prime shipmind.
She rattles off at speed.
Which will work as long as you manage the data flow through a polymer-clad or overflow cable looped into the asynchronous cortex cache.
AK, she wants him to know that she's very smart. And she is. She's very smart.
Kid in Citizen Sleeper. Mina! Mina was the name of the kid in the first game. This is Junie.
Never mind.
How can I say yes with my voice like that? I have different octaves of my voice that I can do a lot of things with. Yeah. Has this been my favorite game lately? Yes. Yes, this is my favorite game right now. Of 2025, I'm not even going to say right now. I haven't played a lot of other games that have come out in 2025, but, you know. I can start with that. Someone shares your same hyperfixation, so you don't have to water down the words you use. There you go. It's just the kid from Spy Kids. God dang it. Bet you don't even have a watch that tells time.
Yes, Jean-Mi eyes her, a small smile crossing his lips. As I said, technical.
What'll happen to me? Jean-Mi refocuses on you.
It depends.
He says while preparing the far end of that thick cable.
What you're referring to is me. The problem we have is with your frame, your body. Atypical alterations, biosynthetic recoding, unusual growth.
Jean-Mi shakes his head.
From the diagrammatics I have, these are not typical of frames, even those who have been rebooted as you have. In order to investigate safely, I must transplant your emulation. In basic terms, your mind. But in reality, not so basic.
He smiles in an attempt at reassurance. Do I play GTA? Not in a long time. Need to take breaks from it? Sure, Dwayne.
Your emulation is an emulation of a human, and a human mind cannot be separated from its sensorium. The mind-body paradigm has long been disproved. Cognition has physical basis. So must first distribute the emulation between your hardware and the prime ship mind. The hardware will co-run the emulation like the two lobes of a brain.
He puts his hands together as if in prayer, and then slowly separates them. The motion makes you feel sick. So part of what they're talking about here, by the way, is in this world, and this theory, you can't just like rip a brain out of somebody's head and put it in a robot, and that robot's going to be just fine. A human mind is built to operate a human body and nothing else. So if you're going to do that, you also need to have a body that responds much like a human does. And so he's saying that it's going to be a little bit weird when we get put into the jar and it isn't good.
Then for a short period, I will disconnect the two. In those moments, you will, in a sense, be in two places at once, though each lobe will be partial. Too long in this state, and the partial emulations will decay. But each disconnect will allow me a short period of full access to your entire frame and its base system language. I hope this is understandable.
Jean-Mi gives you a serious look.
One of the most curiously human aspects of sleeper experience is that you, too, do not inherently understand or conceive of the systems that allow your existence.
I think I already know the answer to this one, but have you done this before? Juni Rocky Razor Rebel Cortez. Or Carmen Elizabeth Juanita Echo Scarpa Barato Cortez. And congratulations to you, Patrick. Yeah, it sounds like a handful of people are watching that movie simultaneously, because it's like we're putting out like hour-long videos these days, friends, so I understand why people are simultaneously doing both.
You're the first sleeper I've encountered, so I must answer no.
Jean-Mi smiles apologetically. Ugh. Had fish for dinner. Yeah. I like fish, but I don't like the taste of fish back. Again, the second time through, it's never good. Thank you for the follow, by the way. I'm glad you followed because of that fish story.
But I can promise you I've tried these concepts in my own practices. I'm familiar with the needs and nuances of artificial minds. Now, before I connect to your frame, let us activate the ship mind.
Jean-Mi gestures to Judy.
Please, if you'd like to come with me and oversee the process, I would be pleased.
Junie shoots you a reassuring glance, and then glides over to the ship mind, obscuring your view of it. You hear a quiet conversation between the two of them, their silhouettes lit by the flickering screen light of scrolling lines of code. You take a calming breath, but are instantly aware of how superfluous that action is when your frame requires no oxygen at all to function. There's a certain sensation that accompanies such thoughts, a jarring disconnection, like when descending a staircase, your foot expects to step and finds void instead. You try to calm the growing anxiety as Junie and Jean-Mi assess the mind. Yeah, so there was a note of it, by the way. Yeah, the body of us, the sleeper, is designed to do all the things a human does. Eat, breathe, poop. But it doesn't have to do any of those things. You You probably don't have an instinct to poop if you have no need to poop, right? Food and drink, probably like hunger and thirst, are probably instinctual to the human mind, like an internal kind of clock on that. And breathing, obviously, is still very much an internal function of all that. But he probably, I don't know. But yeah, our body is able to breathe, but doesn't need to, which is pretty weird to think about.
The ship mine is pristine.
Junie turns back and drifts towards you.
Our carinate's extraction seems to have paid off.
Junie smiles.
This is good news.
Junie is indeed right. You have done well.
Jean-Mi approaches.
I am, however, seeing only minor traces of the protocol that the ship mind was designed to house. The one that ran the ship it was installed in. I would expect to see it in full.
He angles his head and lifts his shoulders in a slow shrug.
But protocols are not easy to track. In the end, it only saves us the step of extracting it from the mind. Instead, I simply wiped the traces.
Jean-Mi stops beside you. There's people, the system has failed and they feel no hunger, can starve to death without realizing it? Yeah, I suppose. Like, I know people who have been, I know people who have gotten dialysis due to you know, ill-functioning kidneys, where they no longer have to pee. And I was, you know, like, it begs the question: do you feel that loss? Does your body like find the urge to pee, but none is found? Does that play? Does that work? I know not. By the way, friends, before we get into this, I just wanted to share something real quick, because I forgot to do it before, and I think this is the time to do it.
Marissa made me cute socks. Look at these. Look at these socks. They're very cute. It's very cold down here, especially like in the morning. And so Marissa made me nice socks. And look at those socks. Those are very, very nice socks. And I appreciate the cute socks. Look at those socks. Look at those nice socks. Look, I'll put on my hand because I don't want to show feet on stream right now. That's for D&D. But look at that beautiful sock. Isn't that a nice sock? It's also now a mitten. It's a beautiful sock. Handmade by Marissa. There you go. Handmade. Wonderful stuff. Shout out to Marissa, who has dove into crocheting in such a way that is similar to many other hobbies that she has dove into, which is fully and unabashedly and successfully, might I add. All right, back to it.
A protocol, Jean-Mi adds, is not like an emulation, like your emulation. It has no integral physical element. It is data only, and therefore could be anywhere in that ship. In the end, its absence does not concern me.
Concerns me.
I understand, Sleeper, but it is remarkable we have the ship mind at all. This is our opportunity.
Jean-Mi lifts the far end of the thick cable you saw earlier. You know this is the end that will connect to the port on the back of your head. Junie settles beside you again. She gives you a silent look. It's time. You turn to one side to allow access to the port, your eyes fixed on the far wall. You see something among the piled tech there that you hadn't noticed before. A small metal skull-like head, like that of a doll. You frown, trying to focus on the head, then the cable connects. You are split, like a cell dividing. Wrenched in two directions at once. The world goes dark and the cloud rushes in to fill the gap at your center. Where am I? You ask a question in your mind, and you feel it travel across the gap as it forms, like a finger drawn across your scalp from ear to ear. But not scalp. You have no scalp, no head. You are stretched out like the skin of a drum, looped like the string of a noose. The smallest vibration echoes across yourself like a ripple across a puddle. And then you feel it. A strong pulse, like a heartbeat, like thunder, like footsteps. A flickering. A trembling. A thought coming into being.
not yours. The thought flickers in front of you, and you recognize that it is not your own. Offer help.
Disintegrate.
The thought answers. You fold up in blankness, then a moment after you unfold like waking. Partition to divide.
Dwelling in dwell.
The thought answers. You stretch into infinitude. Then a moment after you contract like waking. Instill to flow inside.
Substitute. Substrate.
The thought answers. Then it approaches. Then it enters. Then it is yours. You split. Then, the moment after, you reform like waking. And in the cracks that seal up, for a moment in those cracks, something glows.
Sleeper, I'm here.
Your eyes flick open like shutters. Junia's face is closed, her eyes wide.
They're awake!
She calls over your head. She looks back at you.
Easy now. Take it slow.
You twist, floating, turning your head as if you were underwater, feeling the resistance of a body you had already forgotten. How long has it been? You feel a weight you haven't felt in.
You're okay, Sleeper. Tell us you were there.
Junia leans in close. What happened?
The process was successful.
John Mee floats beside the chair, his hands clasped in a businesslike fashion.
I was able to access the frame directly, without your emulation being present. I ran the administrator-level diagnostic processes built into its system, and received the results.
He takes a moment to gather himself.
Your frame is indeed changing. The protein chains that code your biosynthetic organ group's cell replacement have been altered. To put it simply, your body is following a new set of instructions.
Did the reboot do that?
No. The reboot and recoding you underwent simply stopped those protein chains from artificially decaying, breaking your dependence on stabilizer.
In the first game, our sleeper did not have that system rebooted. And instead, every couple days, we had to go buy a very expensive medicine to make sure our body didn't fall apart on us. It was very uncool. I did not like it, and it took so much money to keep myself alive.
It's a metaphor.
The process, the entire replacement of your protein chains could only have been achieved over multiple doses of a specialized substance, as part of a carefully planned process of total substitution.
That word sticks in your mind. Substitution. You say it without thinking.
Yes.
Jean-Mi reacts as if you were speaking to him.
I believe it only could have been achieved with one substance as the carrier. Stabilizer.
Stabilizer. The drug SNARP designed to make you dependent on them. The drug Lane fed you to keep you alive. The drug you thought you had escaped. Lane, he did this. Jean-Mi does not respond.
This kind of process.
Jean-Mi hesitates now, and you realize the bad news is yet to come.
Performed over many, many doses, carefully planned and designed. I cannot think of a way it can be reversed.
Jean-Mi looks down.
I can say that you are changing. I can tell you how it was achieved. But I can neither stop it nor tell you its ultimate end. I'm sorry.
I understand.
I'm sorry, Sleeper.
Junie struggles to find words.
Perhaps we can find someone else, or
She falters.
try again?
You don't feel able to respond. You quietly push yourself away from the chair, your thoughts slow to cohere. You glide back to the door, then out into the flow of flotsam, the noise and activity passing by you like smoke. In the haze, you find that word again, substitute, and begin to wonder what exactly it is you are becoming.
Oh boy! Okay. So, long story short, we now have a chronic illness that is eventually going to take our body and our brain from us. By someone, the worst person that we know.